What do you do when you're 10 weeks out from your marathon and injured? Well, unfortunately, that's the position that I find myself in today. So I'm going to talk you through everything that I'm doing to get back on track. I'm going to take you with me on my first long run attempt since being injured, which by the way is going to be a 2-hour session on the treadmill. I'm hoping this is helpful, and if anything, we can commiserate together. Let me talk you through what's been happening. I went to the physio earlier this week, and they diagnosed me with post-tibial tendinopathy. Basically, I've been having pain right around here in my ankle, and I would say it's quite manageable at this point, probably like a 2 out of 10 when I'm running. But for me, the red flag was really the fact that it wasn't going away. So I took a few days off and it didn't get any better. And that's when I decided to go see the physio, because to me, that's a signal that something is wrong and it needs more intervention. I don't think anyone is going to be surprised by the advice that the physio gave me. He basically told me, stay off your feet for about a week, really dial down the running and focus more on cross training. Focus on strengthening your calf muscles, your intrinsic foot muscles. That's obviously not an overnight fix, but that's a long-term solution. And then also use ibuprofen for a few days. It's not good to do that long-term, but it can really bring down the inflammation of the tendon. So that's what I've been doing, and I went for about a 4 or 5 mile run yesterday, and I would say my pain was at like a 1 or 2 out of 10. So that's really why I feel comfortable trying the long run today, but that's also why I'm doing it on a treadmill, because that way I can at least stop if things don't feel right. By the way, in terms of fuel, I have 3 gels, and I'm gonna be trying this SIS Beta Fuel. It has 40 grams of carbs versus their usual gels, which have 20. So if this tastes good and it's not absolutely disgusting, then that is great for race day, because it just means fewer gels that you have to carry. So really crossing my fingers for this one. Let's get warmed up and ready to go. Warmed up and ready to go. Let's do it. Please, please, please be good to me today. In terms of workout today, I'm doing a progression run, so I'll put it somewhere up here, but essentially getting faster every 15 minutes, moving all the way down to marathon pace. Normally, I'd probably go below marathon pace as the last interval, but I do want to take it a little bit easier today, so that's going to be the session. Interval 1, 15-minute warm-up, 9:30 per mile. Interval 2, 15 minutes at 9 minutes per mile. Ankle pain, 1 out of 10. Interval 3, 15 minutes at 8:45 per mile. Ankle pain, still 1 out of 10. Time for first gel. Interval 4, 15 minutes at 8:30 per mile. Ankle pain, still 1 out of 10. Halfway. Interval 5, 15 minutes at 8:15 per mile. It's getting sweaty. I'm taking a minute to regroup. I was getting really tired and it was definitely impacting my form, and I noticed that was hurting my ankle. So I'm gonna walk for a minute or 2 and then pick back up again. And I might not actually finish the progression run, but I am gonna try to finish the duration. So I might do the rest of it, which is around 45 minutes at an easier pace. Starting again at 9:30 per mile. Ankle's feeling much better, so I'm gonna try to carefully work my way back up again. Maybe 5-minute intervals, so 5 minutes at 9:15 per mile. That did not feel good, so going back down to 9:30 per mile, I'm gonna stick here. I'm not gonna lie, although banding the intervals is definitely the best choice for my ankle right now, it at least provided a bit of entertainment. These last like 45 minutes on the treadmill feel 10 times longer than the first hour that I did. I have 20 minutes left. All right, there we go. 2 hours on the treadmill, done. I'm super proud of myself for that, even though the workout didn't exactly go as planned. I'm proud of myself because running on the treadmill sucks, to be honest, so just proud of like the mental resilience. And also proud because I feel like I really listened to my body and I didn't give in to the temptation to just stick to the plan. I think in the long term, it's always better to play it safe and be a bit conservative. So yeah, I'm a little bit bummed that I didn't feel up to hitting all my paces and I ran the last 45 minutes easy rather than progressing. But at the end of the day, I'm also proud of myself for, I think, having a bit of maturity to make that decision rather than just pushing through. I'm going to do a bit of extra stretching in here. I will also say, in terms of this gel, the SIS Beta Fuel, it was all right. I had tried this before, but they have a nootropics version, which has 100 milligrams of caffeine. I honestly wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. It was like a Red Bull during your run. It was terrible. And this was much better, both in terms of taste and how it made me feel. I think I took it a little bit too fast. Obviously 40 grams of carbs just hitting your stomach probably won't sit super well. So I probably should have known that, but that went away after like 5 or 10 minutes. So I'll probably try it again and a few more sessions. But I really like the idea of taking this with me on race day. Again, it just means fewer gels that you have to carry, which is always great. So yeah, final thoughts on the session. I mean, I think one of the hardest things being injured is knowing when to push and when to pull, because you know that if you push your body too hard, it's only going to lead to bad things. But when you're 10 weeks out from the marathon, you also don't want to be too conservative, because this is really the time where you make your gains. As in, if I was injured 2 or 3 weeks before the marathon, it wouldn't even be a question. I would just pull back on my mileage because it doesn't matter. That is when you taper, you're not going to be getting any fitter, any faster during that time. But obviously when it's 10 weeks out, this is the critical point in your training, and the mileage and the intensity is only going to go up over the next few weeks. So it's a tough spot to be in. I will definitely, I think, be thinking about this a lot and just hoping that I make the right decisions and that my body decides to cooperate along the way. I'll definitely keep you posted and wish me luck.